Good morning, folks. Brandon, actually, hold on real quick. Let me do this real quick. Since everyone complains about my keys. Good morning, folks. Brandon, the broker here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this video. This video here is one that is going to be it's going to be one of the hardest videos to make because I believe this video needs to be made. Unfortunately, this is a common thing in the black community and the community in general. And it is about acting white. Now, I'm going to intersperse things that I've been through and maybe my sisters or my parents. I'm not going to talk about other people in general, but just me and people very close to me. So here we go. Aquarius wave, you act white.
I love when a good thing comes together, folks. I had set an intention this morning to record a video on quote unquote acting white. This entire idea, talking white, acting white, etc. And this morning, before I record the video, I go through a few of my comments. Again, I try my best to go through some of them and at least like and things of that nature. There's just a whole lot going on. I spend a lot of time creating content, researching, etc. So if y'all been showing love, I appreciate y'all. But I saw a comment and it caught my attention. I said, this is a perfect example of exactly what I'm about to get into. And this person essentially said, under a video, mind you, where I was speaking on how the welfare system has become a generational curse upon, black folk or quote unquote POCs, marginalized peoples, etc. These different classifications that are oftentimes used to, to label individuals who are lower class. But this guy says, you subscribe to the white man's value system. Now, that's super
He doesn't, and I don't think he does. He is going to get in some politics. I really do try to stay out of political stuff. But listen, I have seen it in my childhood and over my lifetime. People have gotten into the trap of they get on it and then they send their kids into the world and their kids get on it and then their kids get on it. And it's we'll get into it. Let's keep going.
interesting to me because it ties directly into this entire idea of whiteness and you're acting white. And I'm sure there's a lot of black folk out there who are listening right now who have been told at some point in time that you're talking white or you talk white or you act white. And when I was young, I used to take this as something to take offense to. I used to see it as triggering because, that meant that I was an outsider. It meant that I wasn't cool. And so I would look to change my vocabulary. I would literally switch up my vernacular. That's why sometimes
I went through the exact same thing. It doesn't help that I look like chicken when it's halfway done and someone forgot to put seasoning on. And, well, that's kind of how I look. But to be totally honest with you, now I really don't care if you're threatened by my vernacular, if you're threatened by my articulation, that's on you. And I'm sorry for someone's dogs barking. I have no control over that.
break into, some ebonics. I know they got a new name for it nowadays, but I used to break into slang or whatever it was in order to fit in with the status quo because I didn't want to be pointed as a dude who talks white. And yet, the older I get, the more I realize that, oh, that's a compliment. When somebody is telling you that you quote unquote talk white, what they're actually alluding to is that you are well spoken, which is very unfortunate because it actually shows, like this guy over here, right? It shows that he thinks so little of black people, whoever he is. I don't know what ethnicity he is. I don't know anything about the guy, right? He's one of those kind of hidden profiles. Most people will not put their face who leave those type of comments. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, so you think that to not be on welfare and to not be reliant upon the government, to be self-sufficient, to aspire towards success, to have personal agency is a white value system? That's problematic. And it's not problematic for anybody besides the person who has that belief system, right? And there's a lot.
That is very true. That is 100% true. But I've dealt with it from both sides of the aisle, from the person who thinks that Uh, I'll get into it in a little bit. Let's let them keep going.
A lot of white liberals who have this ideology. They think poor black folk, they need to be saved. If it's not for us, if we don't do something, then they're basically cooked because they can't do anything for themselves. That's a that's what's known in psychology as infantilization. When you are infantilizing or you are making somebody out to be a child, you're babying this individual. That's what that is. When you coddle grown folk, you are essentially communicating to them that they cannot do for themselves. And there are those rare cases when you will find an adult who genuinely cannot. They're maybe not able-bodied, or there's a severe mental illness, or whatever it is. But I've even seen people, far on the spectrum, or who got Downs or something like that, that are working at a grocery store, that are doing different things. My mother does in-home care. She's been doing that for years, and I remember one of her clients or patients, I guess you would say, who was severely mentally ill. Yet the girl would go to school. She would go to her job. She got herself a little job at the grocery store. She was doing different things. She was doing dance classes, etc. And I'm thinking to myself, there are people who are able-bodied, able-minded, who are leeching off of systems such as this. And I'm using that word intentionally because it is leeching. You are using up resources that are being collected or garnered from somewhere. Like when the government says that they're paying for programs, such as the welfare program, it's not the government paying for it. It's us, the taxpayers, who are paying for these programs. So it is leeching. You are literally taking out of your neighbor's pocket when you yourself could actually do more. Now, again, there's going to be times in which
Agree and also disagree as well. Yes, even if you're paying into the program and you take out of the program, some people are still going to look at it as you're leeching, even if you've paid into that program all your life. I've been now working for 20 of my 42 years, and I've never taken any kind of assistance or anything like that. But except for like VA and stuff like that, VA and USDA. But even if I told people, hey, I'm using my GI Bill to go to school, someone will still have an issue with that. And it's like, what is your issue? I literally risked my life and my freedom for this. What is the issue? Where the hell are those cops sirens coming from? But so I agree that yes, there are people who do leech off the system. If you've been paying into that same system, it's not leeching. It's a helping hand.
people need to rely on somebody or a system or whatever it is in order to get on their feet. However, it's become generational. And that was my entire point with that video. But back to the point at hand is when you have this belief that is, it's acting white. It's like I remember seeing, let's say, suburban activity. So you got mom and dad and, kid in the damn yard and they're playing, or, mom sitting on the lawn chair and pops is running around playing basketball with the kid. And I've literally heard people say like, oh man, that's white people stuff. Like,
I've heard that one too. And the first, maybe 7-8 years of my life, I was a 2-parent household. Dad was there. Well, dad was a truck driver, but he was there. We had a beautiful home, 2 cars in the garage. Always were on vacation. Always going somewhere, singing, dancing, this, that, and the other. We all kind of had our own little thing. And I heard that is white. Like, that's a white family thing. Like, you would be shocked at what is quote unquote white. Let me take a drink real quick. Hold on. Let's keep going.
what? Having a mother and a father is white people stuff? Having a healthy relationship dynamic within your household is white people? That's troubling. That's problematic, folks. Like, that's the issue. If that
Well, let's also talk about the dumbing down of America as well, especially the dumbing down of Black America. Once upon a time, you had James Evans on your TV. You had Cliff Huxtable on your TV. You had Philip Banks on your TV. You had Carl Winslow on your TV. You had these examples of strong Black fathers on your TV showing a healthy family dynamic. Dad went out there, busted his butt. Mom, she could either bust her butt or she was a stay-at-home mom, or whatever the case is. The kids were kind of a little unruly, but they still had level heads on their shoulder. Now we've really dumbed down everything to the point where if you show a strong black family unit, father, mother, and kids, that show gets canceled because it's not showing dudes who are garbage, women who are garbage, and boy, like I say, it's the dumbing down of Black America.
That is connotation or connected to whiteness as far as having functional homes. That's problematic. Oh man, you see, oh he's acting white because he's not a thug, because he's not out here slanging dope, because he's not out here trying to be a menace to his damn society. He is white or acting white, and that's the worst part of it. It's like you're not just white, you're acting white. What is it to act white?
Robinhood Gold can unlock your money's potential. Take your money to the next level and get a 4% APY.
Because right now I live.
I've also heard that one as well. Actually, it was a black woman that I was really interested in who pretty much told me that my goals of owning a real estate brokerage and an architecture firm was the white man's goal. And I'm like, okay, so what exactly is the black man's goal? I thought goals were goals, and you should want to see your fellow black man make it. Not, well, let me guess, do I gotta rap for it to be a black person goal? Do I gotta become Rick Ross to become a black person goal? What is black people goals and what is I didn't even understand that statement when she made it. So, and better believe I lost interest very fast.
In a small town in Cali, and I'm soon to make my way out. Right, it is a redder part of the state because this place is completely gone to shite. Governor or not so governor Gavin Newsom he's turned his back on the people. I don't even think he had the people in mind at first. So places turned into a hub for crime and things of that nature, right? Slaps on the wrist, like most blue states, quote unquote sanctuary states. But I digress. So I live in a place where there's maybe 70% white folk out here, like a lot of these small little towns in America. Super dope people. However, these folks right here, these white folks don't act nothing like the ones in the Bay Area where I came from. It's like opposite cultures. The way in which they live their lives, the way in which even, how the families are set up, etc. It is night and day difference. And I've seen differences when I've gone to Europe, etc. So how can I quantify any of that as acting white? You got some folk out here who are straight hillbillies, and then you got others who are, not necessarily that, but they're family oriented, etc. Then you got some just straight crackish type of individual. You got all type. You got a variety. There is no monolith within white folk, just like there is no monolith within black folk. And so when we use these statements, or when these statements are targeted towards us, it's really a representation of, unfortunately, the small-mindedness or short-sightedness of individuals who have been programmed to believe that to be black is to be ignorant, to be black is to be criminal, to be black is to not articulate yourself well. These things make you black. The more hood, the more gutter, the more street you are, then the more you are.
Also heard this one from another black woman. I don't talk like an N word, and I always have to ask, what does an N word sound like? Is it because I articulate my words? I speak proper English. Those are also black people things too. We can speak proper English. We do it all the time. Just because, and I know I say the words, quite a bit. Leave me alone. But what exactly is talking like an N word? Or what is acting like an N word?
Are connected to quote unquote blackness. Like, do we not know the history of Ebonics itself? That this is redneck language? I make sure y'all pick up a copy of Thomas Sowell's, I think it's called The Black Redneck. This is hillbilly culture that we're talking about here. The language that is, y'all I'm saying, what's up, y'all mean? That right there is derived from Southern dialect, which is hillbilly culture, country white folk culture, if we want to get down to it, right? It was like broken English. It's almost like patois or pidgin English, I guess you would say, from some of our Nigerians out there. So when we start to make these connections of black culture, well, what it is to be black, not even just black culture, what is it to be black? Oh, to be black is these, and to be white is these. And oftentimes, it's the negative connotations of what it is to be black. And I fell into this trap for, majority of my teen years. I spent a majority of my teen years trying to be something I was not, and I ended up becoming what I was not. That's why I'm so, I guess, dogmatic about my message, is because I've lost best friends to that lifestyle. They're no longer here. 3 of my best friends, out of 5 of us, it was 5 of us, my road dogs, my day ones. 3 of them passed away before the age of 30. Overdoses. One of them has been in and out of prison since we're 17, 18 years old. That's the reality of quote unquote being black in the way that it is presented to us. Oh man, you see an artist come out, right? You see a Leon Bridges, you see Anderson .Paak or something like that. That's not really a black artist. Like,
And Anderson .Paak is black. Okay, there's a lot of them. Boz is black. Junior Williams is black. Just because I always kind of hate that they don't talk a certain way or they don't make a certain kind of music. So apparently they're not quote unquote black. Sorry that they don't talk about killing each other and disrespecting their quote unquote ops in order to make you feel comfortable.
black, but it's not really a black artist. So what is it to be a black artist then? What is it? They have to be gutter, they have to be street, they have to be hood. They can't articulate themselves, they can't be eccentric, they can't be free, basically. That's democratic plantation talk right there. They can't be free, and that
I wouldn't put this on Democrat or Republican because trust me, I could really talk about Republicans badly. But I live in Alaska. Alaska is more of a reddish purple state, so we really don't get into all that, but whatever.
that's the biggest issue that I honestly have about this. And so again, for me, I actually say it's a compliment now. When I get comments like that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's acknowledgement. Because what they're saying is, oh, you're teaching success. Oh, you're teaching self-sufficiency. You're teaching personal agency. You must be white. As soon as they tell you you're acting white, they're telling you you're doing something right. You're eating healthier. Man, this nigga over here acting white. Really?
I've never understood the whole you're eating healthier so you're acting white. Like, I mean, black people, I don't know if anyone realizes that we didn't just start out eating eating fried chicken and all that other stuff. We started off eating almost anything. We had feasts. We did all that stuff. Don't let slave history erase actual black history. Two very different things.
Really? Getting in shape. Taking care of your body. Loving your children. Loving your wife. Huh? Building a business. That's not a hustle, an actual business. Generational wealth and handing.
Any business is going to be quite a bit of a hustle, but I can understand what he's saying. It's not you boosting or scamming, and building generational wealth should be on the top of everyone's list. And I tell this to anyone. I don't care if you have a son or a daughter. The day they turn 18, get your child a trust and an LLC. Tell your children to buy anything they need under that trust or LLC.
That down. Financial literacy. These are the things that are connotated as whiteness in more cases than not. If you're going to be honest with yourself, it's almost never a positive thing. And it's unfortunate because that's not what blackness is. That's just dysfunction. It's like I call it criminal culture, right? A lot of those aspects are just criminal culture, dysfunctional or toxic culture, regressive culture. That's what that is. And so when we continue,
Well, I also want to kind of say something. Even criminal culture has a honor code, an honor amongst thieves, and it's usually no children or women hurt. So even in criminal culture, there's more honor than there is sometimes in quote unquote inward culture.
to shame individuals for not being regressive, then we'll continue to get the very same results. We'll get en masse, even those kids who may have been born in the suburbs, etc. Like, I had a buddy of mine back in the day. I'm not gonna give his name, but his mama owned McDonald's, and you know what I mean. Like he was very well off, and he was, acting white throughout high school. All of a sudden, after graduation, I run into him. So I was the, you know what I mean. I was the problematic kid. I was that dude got kicked out of high school, got kicked out of my high school, et cetera, et cetera. Like I was that guy. And so when I ran into this dude, I had cleaned myself up. I had changed my life a little bit. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, he's, y'all, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, you went to college, you're the whole nines, and you came out even more gutted, how does that happen? You had a beautiful life. You lived in the suburbs. I'm like, whoa. But then I remembered, yeah, because that's the masquerade you feel pressure to put on when you're rejected for simply being sophisticated. And people wonder why. There's been this huge divide within the so-called community because it's not a community anymore. It's now break-off societies, cultures, and tribes of these people who have certain values, certain morals, and those who don't uphold the same morals and values. And maybe that's for the better. That's been my new thing, is like, maybe we need to go back to being a little more tribal and just come together with the tribes who affiliate and associate with us best, as opposed to just going off a race. The race thing don't work. You feel that you are beholden to your race when these may be the very most destructive people. I see comments every single day of folks giving that exact same story of like, bro, like I feel like I'm not safe even around people who look just like me, but yet I feel beholden to this quasi loyalty. You ain't got to be loyalty to your destruction. Absolutely the hell not. Separate yourself from that element. If they're not standing on what you stand on, if they don't have the same value system, God, family, being an honest and integrity-filled individual, if they don't have those elements, then they might not be your people. Because these are things I stand on. So if you don't have that as your priorities, what business do we have?
Honestly, I don't do God. I don't do the whole God thing. I don't do religion. But everything else, I really am feeling him and what he's saying. He is telling nothing but truth there. Find your tribe, because just because we're the same race does not mean we're the same tribe.
We don't have to kick it. We ain't got to lie to kick it. We don't have to kick it. We don't have to pretend. Skin folk don't mean kinfolk. We don't have to pretend. I know that's oftentimes used on the other side, when they try to do the whole, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackity black because I'm black, y'all, right? Kinfolk ain't kinfolk. Y'all don't see me as kinfolk. The ones who call me a sellout and all types of stuff, the ones who leave messages like that, y'all don't see me as kinfolk, and you shouldn't.
I don't think you're a sellout. I really don't. Even now, I'm saying this as, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm more in the middle. I don't label myself as conservative, liberal, anything like that, but I know he does have more conservative values, and that's cool. He's still my tribe because I can listen to what he's saying, articulate what he's saying, and say, you know what, that's how you feel. I'm cool with that. I don't fully agree with you, but you know what? I'm going to ride with you. As long as you don't say nothing crazy out your mouth, I'm going to ride with you, and I'm going to let anybody know, hey, that's his right to feel like that. So, my brother, you my skin folk and kinfolk.
Because I don't subscribe to a mentality of degeneracy. I don't subscribe to a mentality of tomfoolery. I don't. I would rather be sophisticated in my thinking. I would rather be somebody who is well thought out. I'd rather be somebody who is illiterate, not just to, in the way that I articulate myself, but also financially. emotionally intelligent. I'd rather be those things than be somebody who's proven something. I'm cool off that. I'm cool off that. Don't get it twisted. Just because I got a do-rag on doesn't mean anything. The do-rag does not define a damn thing besides the fact that I'm attempting to get waves for the first time in my life. And if
Bro, we too old. Go let it go. I'm messing with you, dude. I'm messing with you. Do your thing.
it doesn't work out, then to hell with it. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Y'all are beautiful human beings. I really, really appreciate y'all. Everybody's been showing love and just showing up and showing out. We're here. We're here for real conversations. We're here for the real thing. I made a promise. I said I'm never gonna sugarcoat y'all again. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna. Oh, but maybe I should. But just in case, because I don't care to be bullied. I really don't. I've heard like some of the most heinous things, y'all. I am not afraid. I know whose side I'm on. Simple as that. I know who's got my back. So I am unafraid. Appreciate y'all. Till the next time.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained every shack.
Okay, the music is really good. We're going to have to keep listening. Hold on. Let's go.
2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. Got a feeling the time's night. See you through those shades that I just threw on.
Okay, we can't sit through the whole thing, but I agree with almost everything he was saying. I really don't get into the political talk, but everything else, I like what he was saying. So go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Go show him some love on his video. Until next time, I'm going to try not to make these reactions a thing because I want to get back into my schoolwork. But anyway, y'all have a good whatever day it is today that y'all are watching this. If you're watching it on upload day, let's hope Cody Rhodes beats the hell out of somebody. Let's hope that Roman Reigns and the Bloodline beats the hell out of somebody. But if you're watching this any other day, Negro icon Cody Rhodes.